When we went to Warner Brothers on our overall deal, we kind of had one credo about the kind of shows that we wanted to make, and the number one no-no was never a family in a living room, and when possible, never a multi-camera show. In the second season I'm sorry, second year of our overall deal, after having had the experience of Family Album and being forced to do something that we didn't think we were good at and didn't really want to do, we were committed that whatever was going to come next was going to be out of our sensibility, that we were going to double down on that. And it was going to be something that came out of our mutual experience of being in New York. And Marta and David came up with the idea of a simple thing that when you finish college and you go out in the world for the first time, your friends become your family. Your friends become your extended family. That was the beginning, basically, of what the show was going to be. Of course, there's a lot more to it than that, but that was the start of it. That was the idea. There's a story about this, and the names of the executives will be changed to protect the innocent, I think, is the way I would tell it. But we were in kind of a precarious position because I told you that CBS bought the first bite of our deal with Warner Brothers. Well, Fox had the second bite. And we had these two pilot ideas. One was Friends, and the other was kind of a Dream On-ish style of show, and it was called Reality Check, and it was a high school show. So we had to give Fox the choice of which show they would want to take. And Warner Brothers really felt that Friends should be on NBC because they just seemed to have the kind of comedy shows and sensibility that would be good for Friends. But Fox had the first choice, so we went in there and we pitched both shows. And then when they called us back the next day, to our amazement, they wanted the high school show. So obviously there's some executive somewhere who lives in a lot of pain knowing that they said no to Friends. But there's a lot of those stories in this town. We never find out who those people are that say no, so I will follow that tradition and not break it.
Okay.
I was at all the pitch meetings, and Jamie Tarsis was at NBC at the time, and this was a script that she was very much in love with and wanted to shepherd and make sure that it got done. And so she was a strong advocate of the show when we were first getting it up. And Warren Littlefield was at NBC at the time, and Don Omeyers came on shortly thereafter. So it was that era of NBC. The elevator pitch was simply, it's that time in your life when your friends become your family, and you're looking for love, and you're looking for your first job, and all the firsts are happening in your life, and your friends become your family. So that would be like the elevator version of it, but the pitch is really fantastic. I think there's a copy of it somewhere in the television archives. But when you look at that pitch, it's the best pitch that I ever heard. And certainly it was Marta and David's pitch. But it was the best pitch I ever heard. And it was because it very clearly defined the show. There were every single example of what an episode might be about or what a character, when we were defining the character qualities, anything that the character might do in the show was in that pitch. And every single line that was written in that pitch was on the series at some point. I think there was one thing, and I can't remember what it was right now, but that didn't appear until the final season of the show. And there were things in that pitch that never happened also. Like originally we thought that Monica and Joey would probably be the ones to hook up. But that just ended up being, a flirtation, and it really became about Chandler. And part of that was, these characters grew and evolved from the actors. They started out being characters that were created on the page before Marta and David ever knew these actors. And once the actors were cast, they just brought so much of themselves into the show. I think at a lot of times there were very thin lines between the characters and the stories, because, sometimes the stories would come from the cast coming in and telling us about their lives. So, and they would end up being stories.